Okay, so getting back to my point here, you can see that your foot's coming from this direction here, okay? And, it's kind of going towards the target in a sense. Well, actually, it's kind of funny because this example I'm going to give you here has a lot to do with golf and a putter, but this kind of looks like a putter. So you see, I drew your open foot right there. That's the face of the putter. Now, if you go over here to me, you can kind of see that I'm coming at a different angle. I'm coming from the angle that I committed to. Not from back here. I didn't commit to that angle. I committed to this angle over here, right? So if I'm coming at that angle there, it's different. Now, if you understand the whole concept of putters in golf, since I brought that up, I'm gonna show you again is what I'm talking about here. If that's a hole, and I'm on a green, and I'm putting a little golf ball from right here to there. And this is a straight putt. There's no angles or hills, right? So we can establish it's a very, very simple putt, maybe a 30-foot putt, not simple, but it's straight. But here's my point. Here's the face of your putter. I mean, all this makes sense. I mean, this is totally something that everybody would do as a putter, right? They have the putters right here. They have the face of the putter perpendicular to the target, essentially, right? Because it's a straight putt, right? There's no hills. Well, let me ask you this. On the backswing, when you're putting this ball 30 feet, these are just different segments of a backswing, would you open up your club face like that in the backswing only to go forward with the forward swing like this and hope and pray that you get that club face exactly perpendicular to your target at the moment of impact? Would you do that? You wouldn't do that. So my point is kickers, unfortunately coaches are kind of teaching some of this stuff, which it's like, man, I don't understand why. So kickers line up. We all do. It's right-footed soccer style kickers. We line up to an angle over here, off to the side. We're left of the ball. Well, that's the same kind of area as the putter would be on a backswing. So guys who do kind of what you're doing over here, coming from this direction with an open foot, from behind the ball in the same kind of direction the target is and where you want that ball to go, in other words, steer that ball. If you do it that way, why wouldn't you just line up like right back here? If I was kicking this ball that way, why wouldn't I just line up like right there and just run forward with an open foot? Clearly, I'm not going to do that. Nobody would want to. But the problem is these kickers, for whatever reason, they think this is the best way to do it. They line up over here to the side only to hope and pray that they get that foot open just in time and perfectly perpendicular to the target when they kick it. I mean, that is a lot of work. I would much rather just kick the ball with the mechanics that I'm using and then see what the mechanics do to the ball instead of having to athletically do all this junk and motion and variables. Because again, you're making it a lot more difficult on yourself as a kicker. If you want to line up over here to an angle that you committed to over here, only to come this direction with an open foot at the point of contact. That makes no sense to me. That is so many more variables and makes it so much more difficult to master. So think about that for a second. We want to simplify the kicking process.